Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to take a little moment and talk about this new recent phenomenon called fan baiting. This article from Spectator Australia from, I believe it was a few years ago. Title of the article, Fan Baiting, the Toxic Culture of Hollywood Progressive. Now, what is fan baiting? Well, let's go down and take a look here. The phenomenon known as fan baiting. It is a marketing strategy used by actors, producers, and film studios to stir up controversy to rationalize and justify negative reviews of a new and often highly anticipated project. This is something film fans have long suspected. It offers a plausible explanation for some of the more surreal decisions motivating modern movie productions. Essentially, if you take any criticism for a fan casting, either gender swap, race swap, or taking a franchise and turning it on its head, if you sit there and just call the fans racist and sexist, misogynist, then you can get away with it because, heaven forbid, all these decisions were made for the best person for the job. Characters added to a show, best person for the job. Any criticism, it's because of the character's skin color, because of the actor's skin color, not because of piss poor writing or anything like that. And just doing a quick search on different IPs, it's very easy to come up with all of it. Like I put in another video. Racist backlash to Rings of Power put Tolkien's legacy into focus. Now, the criticism over this particular character right here is that dwarves did not have such a dark tan. Not to mention the fact that fans criticized her lack of a beard, to the point where so-called Tolkien scholars came out and said, Tolkien didn't exactly state that the women had beards. Like, no, he pretty much, it's been established. Dwarves, male or female, all look the same. What else do we have? Over here with Reva, Moses Ingram had a little bit of backlash when, in actuality, they were criticizing her character, not the woman herself, not her skin tone. They criticized the character, the poorly written and poorly acted character in Obi-Wan. But articles like this lovely one from NPR still came out. Racist Star Wars fans aren't new. Now, this title is even worse because it tries to claim that there have been racist Star Wars fans all along, because Mace Windu, and Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian, all these characters, there was obvious racial backlash when that never existed. Why doesn't Disney do more to protect? Is that not enough? Of course, we have even more recent stuff from The Little Mermaid. Racist backlash. It feels so small-minded, even though fans are criticizing the casting of a black actress to play Ariel. Not to play a mermaid, but to play Ariel. Let's go back to Star Wars on this one. It's kind of interesting that they put John Boyega's picture in here when Disney made him a lot smaller and a lot bluer on the Chinese poster, but the fans are the ones that are racist. New studies suggest racism and sexism drive fan backlash against diverse Star Wars characters. This article talks about John Boyega's character when in The Force Awakens, people were interested to see where John Boyega's character was going to go. They wanted to see more of Finn, and they just turned him into a joke. They also bring up Rose Tico, who was just a bad character. Had nothing to do with Kelly Marie Tran. It had to do with the character. They are associating backlash against the character to backlash against the actor or actress themselves, which is absolutely false. This goes all the way back to Ghostbusters 2016, calling it sexist control issues. When, looking back, Ghostbusters 2016 was just garbage, absolute garbage. Even so far, all this goes even further. You can go back to Viola Davis talking about The Woman King. Viola Davis says audiences who didn't see or don't see The Woman King are, quote, supporting the narrative that black women cannot lead to box office globally. That quote doesn't make sense, but essentially she's saying that if you don't go see the movie, you're racist, you're this, you're that, you're an istophobe. And this all goes back to this phenomenon right here. Fan baiting. The idea, and I've brought this up numerous times, but I'd like to talk about it more because it bothers me, it annoys me. When you are constantly criticizing the fans, when you are constantly labeling fan criticism as rooted in racism or sexism or misogyny or transphobia or any one of the other istophobe buzzwords out there. You just don't like inclusion. You're this. You're a Yahtzee. All that does is takes your average fan, your normie, and they look at that and go, what are you talking about? So they go look it up. They go look at all the corners of the internet and try to find it, because most of these articles don't provide too much proof. And they see what you're talking about, and they notice the criticism is actually towards the character, not the actor or actress. It's towards the writing, not the actor or actress. It's toward the piss poor CGI, not the actor or actress. And they see the studios coming out with racist and sexist excuses for their piss poor ratings, and their eyes are opened over and over again. The idea, it used to stand that all publicity is good publicity. But again, as I've said before, and I will continue to say it, that doesn't work anymore. The access to news, access to criticism, access to reviews, instant access to all these things is, well, like I said, for lack of a better term, it's instant. You don't have to wait till the 5 o'clock news in the afternoon. You don't have to wait till the next day. You don't have to wait for the Sunday morning newspaper to find out what people are saying. All you have to do, 3 clicks of a button, a simple Google search will bring up everything everyone's saying, and more people are doing their own fact-checking. They're not going to one single website. They're not going to one single reviewer. They're not just going to the Hollywood Reporter. They're getting on social media to find other outlets, to find other normal people, people who aren't bought and paid for, people who don't get goodie bags to go see these movies and talk good about them. They're finding their own critics, for lack of a better term. They don't have to go to Siskel and Ebert on Saturday night to find out thumbs up or thumbs down. Rotten Tomatoes is definitely not a good aggregate for any sort of criticism or reviews because, well, that's another video for another time. I'm going to talk about that later on today. But what do you think? Do you think these are actually rooted in racism, in bigotry, in sexism, in the case of a poorly written Ghostbusters movie? Or is it just the studios and the Hollywood executives and the so-called stars and writers making excuses for their lack of talent? Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. I appreciate you making this far. Hooked on Phonics worked for me. Well, maybe not so much.